Well, good afternoon. It's December 9th, and I am up in Bellingham, Washington. Got a big event tomorrow. Daughter's graduating from college, so that's going to be fun. Anyway, I just wanted to get online and talk about this week's AMA. And this week's AMA is 5 things not to do in renovating and flipping. So that being said, I'm Travis Rohr with C3 Project Pros. I am going to start my slideshow so we can at least get that going. Anyway, here we go. So what we have is, again, I'm Travis Rohr, C3 Project Pros, and today's presentation is 5 common mistakes in flipping and renovations. So let's jump right in. So first of all, where to begin? What's the difference between a flip and a reno? Well, a renovation is typically you're going to own the home, keep the home, and live in it. Most times while you're in it. But anyway, you're renovating your own property. And a flip is when you're buying an investment property, typically distressed or something, putting some money into it, and then putting it back on the market immediately. You're not gonna, hold it to move into it. So that's my definition, the typical definition between a flip and a reno. So number one of the 5 common mistakes that people make, and I like to call this one "Know Your Home." This works better, and I talk about this a lot with home maintenance. Is having a full season, meaning a year where you get all 4 seasons involved in your property, because homes operate differently in the summer and in the winter. For example, Laura and I bought a place down in Charleston. We live in Charleston now. And my background is a lot of building science and environmental sensitivity things, especially with proper airflow. And for the life of me, depending on the season, I end up with I've had some mold growing in a few spots, and I have done everything that I have been trained and knew how to do to solve it. And I inevitably got it done, but that was a struggle. It was just the different atmosphere, coming from the Pacific Northwest, where in the winter it's just cold and rainy. So it's a big heating system down there. And in the summer here, it just dries out and no HVAC needed. And down there, my goodness, it's hot, it's humid, and it creates some moisture issues, especially when you're without a dehumidification unit and running cooling a lot. So it's really interesting how that works. Anyway, so on knowing your home, first thing I like to do is perform a proper PCA, which is a property condition audit. And that's whether it's your own home or whether it's a flip. I like to approach the building, walk up to it, see what's going on. What anything stands out from the curb? Is there anything looking broken, dilapidated, not taken care of? How's the roof look? Anyway, I have a property condition audit form that I do that looks at every component in the house, from the sidewalks to cracked concrete to condition of the paint, gutters. I mean, literally everything from front to back, from the curb to the back gate, from the attic to the basement. And it looks at everything, and I believe I've captured everything in this list, and check it off, list your condition and things you're going to want to take care of. So, and that's regardless if it's a home or a flip. You should know this and know your building. And then secondly, it's like, how does it flow? So if you're considering a renovation or a flip and you're walking through there, it's like, just imagine yourself in the space of how does it flow? What's it feel like to walk through it? I mean, is there walls that can be moved that are non-structural, or even if they are structural, can you put a beam there, open something up? That's kind of my perspective on that. I would consider creating a rendering of the house if you don't have blueprints already. And there you can get a free demo of a program called SketchUp, and it's pretty user-friendly. Lots of easy to follow tutorials on YouTube. And I mean, literally, when I say easy to follow, if I can do it, I'm telling you, you can do it. And then, of course, how does it function? This kind of goes back to flow and the functioning of it. Does it make sense? Does the heating system have ducts in the right spot? Do you need to reallocate, heating sources if you have access to, say, all the ductwork in a crawl space or a basement or something like that? And then, of course, know the weather implications. We addressed that early on with the going through the seasons, and just really be mindful of it, especially if it's a flip. The idea is to get in and get out and get the property turned, but also being responsible and mindful of what you're going to be delivering to the next consumer. And then I don't have spent cash create others. Oh, well, that's good English there. Nice slideshow, Travis. Anyway, it's like, don't spend good money to create other issues. And I'm just trying to think of an issue of that. Is like, say you want to, for example, a lot of times I've seen where you want to go into, say, a master bedroom where they've got a nice big window, and you want to cut in a sliding glass door, which is a good thing. Next thing you know, you're dealing with siding, and next thing you know, you're with electrical, and maybe a deck or a concrete slab. So really think all the issues through when you decide to make a when you make a choice like that of, say, I'm going to take out this window and put a door. That could be a good function and flow thing, but at the end of the day, is that gonna really damage your budget by overspending? So that's my thought on knowing your home. So next, exterior first. If you see below, there's a web link, and it's the remodeling.hw.not cost versus values guide. And this one, the link I have is from 2020, but it's updated annually. It's a free resource. ROI is typically return on investment, and that's the way I like to look at this. And so exterior first is because it creates your first impression, especially if you're flipping. This part's primarily for flipping. So you come up to a distressed property, maybe windows are boarded up, overgrown landscaping, debris on the roof. I mean, first of all, you're going to want to clean that off to do your inspection anyway. But when you clean up the yard, I mean, really get it cleaned up. Get that first impression of your property. You're gonna drive some interest up. You've already talked to your selling agent, and maybe they're generating some traffic for you already. Additionally, if you've got a lot of clutter, debris, overgrowth in your yard, you got to do it anyway. So if you get it cleaned up, it actually gives you a spot to effectively park a dumpster or maybe a material laydown area, depending on what you're doing. And the high return on exterior things, it's actually simple to do tasks as well. So repainting is something that even a novice can do effectively. Building a deck, follow tutorials on YouTube. Repair some siding. It's not that difficult to cut in some pieces, and it's a good place for you to not only hone your skills, but build some skills if your skill set's very basic. Now you might be subbing everything out, or this is just a good spot if you're doing some work yourself. So I recommend clicking on that link and type in the zip code for your area, and then it'll give you like a dollar cost average of national average, and specifically for your area, on areas that are going to be high recoup of your investment. So anyway, I just really like that tool, and I preach exterior first because of the interest level and because of it really is the highest return you're going to get. Products. When it comes to your products, this is the specifications of the materials that you're going to incorporate in the building, the end use, the physical stuff you see. Well, number one, I say don't cheap out. And I also say don't buy top of the line, because both of them, top of the line, sure, if it's your own reno and you're going to live there a while, knock yourself out, do your thing. But don't cheap out, because, if it looks, feels, tastes, smells, looks cheap, that's going to be the perception, and you're not going to get top dollar for your property. I am a big advocate for saying don't buy retail, meaning big box. I'm not a big fan of big box stores for a lot of reasons. I prefer supporting local business. I know local people work at these big box stores, but I prefer the profits going to small local businesses that really do service on a holistic matter, whether it's a lumber yard. And I'm not speaking like, and I know the two big box stores do sell lumber, but I'm referring more to local lumberyards. I just really like them because you're going to get some people with firsthand knowledge of the area. I just think that the staff is better trained at true local lumberyards and things like that. Like, the other thing that I really preach on is, especially the flooring, is to be able to go into one place that actually has the labor for the LVPs, your tiles, your carpets, all in one spot. It really takes a lot of stress and pressure off you to be able to get all that in one spot without having to be the one that's master thinking that, especially if that's not your skill set. I speak about learning your builder line there, and that's referring to going to whether it's the flooring store, whether it's the plumbing supply store, or the lumberyard. You're going to talk to what are the builder lines for the products they're recommending. One, typically easier to get, a good mid-range price point, and a good quality, because builders are using those, and that's for a reason. And then, of course, know your specs. What I mean by that is when you're buying something, I'm getting more towards finished goods. Know your specifications and follow the manufacturing installation instructions. When I say don't be an inventor, it's like, don't try to outthink the mousetrap. The mousetrap has been outthunk, and you're at this point merely an applicator. So apply it according to the specs, and the wheel doesn't need to be recreated here. Just follow the specs and get the warranty. That's my whole point to that. 4, changes. When you, from the front end, if you did the property condition audit and you got a plan and you've got a scope of work and you got your specification, stick to your plan. It was a good plan in the beginning. The chances are it's going to be a good plan going forward. And every time you start a project and you make changes, all it's going to do is cost you money. So avoid delays, avoid the expensive change orders, and stick to your plan. That one's pretty simple, that one. Number 5, know your limits. Again, this is not a place to try to become a master carpenter if you're brand new and a novice. When I say know your limits, it's like start small, especially if, now I'm going to refer to specifically like say a home renovation. If you're living there, don't tackle the kitchen, bathroom, and then bedroom remodels all at one shot. I know when you're lumping work together, a lot of times you can drive costs down by volume, but you want to make sure that you're going to get some confidence and have some successes of, hey, you scheduled 3 or 4 people to come in and do some drywall, some painting, some flooring, whatever it is you did, and pulled that off successfully. At least now you can put together a plan, implement the plan, and see the plan through. So that's my point of starting small and get your confidence. It also limits disruption. I mean, if this is again reno, if you're living in this area, living in a construction zone is no fun. I've done it, and even though I'm the one doing the work, it's still no fun to do. And it also contains your scope, so keep it to those areas that you're working in. And then it also allows some spaciousness, gives you some grace, if you will, of being able to have a space to retreat and relax. And it also allows you to close out a project quickly if some disastrous event happens. And right now we have a thing with money being more and more expensive to get every day. Well, what happens if you've made a plan and all of a sudden the money is more expensive to get and you need to shut the project down? Well, if you've opened up the entire thing, you're kind of stuck spending now higher priced money. So that's what I mean by giving yourself some grace and some spaciousness in that. So quick recap, know your home, front to back, top to bottom, inside and out, know it, learn it. Think of weather implications. Exterior first, highest resale return on your investment. Products, know your products. Don't be an inventor. Use builder grade stuff. Stick to your plan. All that's going to do is save you time and money. And then, of course, know your limits. There's nothing wrong with, we didn't learn to run in one day. We didn't learn to walk in one day. So it's like, just take it one step at a time, incrementally go down the list, and, that'll be good. So with all that being said, I'd love to hear from you. That's my flow code for booking a call. If you want to call and ask me some questions, happy to talk and put together a presentation and talk on whatever content somebody wants. So with that being said, hope everybody has a great Christmas season. And 2 weeks from today, 14, that'd be what is my next date? It's 2 weeks from today. So the 9 and 14 is what? 25th. So we're not doing it on the 25th. The calendar is telling me the 23rd. Excuse me, I can't do math today. So the 23rd, I will have one more AMA. I haven't picked a topic yet. So invites will be sent out. And anyway, I'm grateful for you to be here. And look forward to furthering these discussions and answering some more questions. Hope everybody has a good day. Thank you. Okay, now what? How do I pause this thing? Dun, 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 dun. I love the technical difficulties of this. Da, da, da. End session. There we go. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. Thank you.